Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'll be speaking of my influences and how I got into music. It all started when I was around 7 and I had these crazy hippie cousins who were surfers and they were building surfboards way back in the 70s. And every time they would come to my grandmother's house, I could hear them coming from blocks away from the volume of the music in their cars. And what they were listening was things like Rory Gallagher, Johnny Winter, Wishbone Nash, Allman Brothers, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Traffic, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, Eric Clapton, 10 years after, things like that. So I kind of grew up listening to all those classic rock bands. And I first had guitar classes when I was around 7, 8 years, but only for 3 months. Then I lost interest and I wanted to do kid stuff. And I went back to the classes when I was 14 or 15 with acoustic guitar. And by the age of 17, I first heard Stevie Ray Vaughan. I didn't know what was a guitar tone back then, but I could tell it was different. That was something different. It was different from Rory Gallagher, which was one of my heroes. Different from Wishbone Nash, which was a band who influenced me a lot, and mostly the band that made me want to play guitar. And different from Johnny Winter, even different from Jimi Hendrix. It was so clean and powerful. And by the age of 18, I finally got my hands on an electric guitar, and I started to have classes with a great guitar player from Porto Alegre, Solon Fishbone. He was totally into Stevie Ray, and he was also trying to learn all his stuff. So we got into that pretty hard. And I spent more than 10 years trying to play like him, trying to learn all his stuff. I listened to all his records. And then after I listened everything I could from him, I wanted to listen the guys that he was listening. That's when the real adventure started. And I got immersed into this blues universe and got to know all the blues masters. It's an adventure that's still going on today. I'm still diving deeper and deeper, and always finding some artists that I haven't heard, and with great songs. And one particular thing that it's cool to say is that on this first 10 years, I was trying to play like Stevie. I was using the hat, using the boots. Totally influenced it. But when I got close from the 30s, I realized that I was becoming a caricature of my own hero, and I decided that I was going to quit the hat, quit the boots, try to find my own sound and my own style. And from that on, I kind of took a different direction, searching and using the other influences that I always had from growing up, listening to all those rock bands. And I started mixing that with my sound, with Stevie Ray stuff. And I'm still searching nowadays. I think it's a never-ending process. It's a great adventure. I'm so glad I can work on this thing that I love so much, and I hope I can be playing guitar and playing music for a long, long time. So that's it. That's pretty much how I got into music, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Right on.